Well, voting in New Hampshire is officially over, and unlike in Iowa the next day, we actually have a winner. We had a winner yesterday evening, and that winner is Bernie Sanders, who beat out Pete Buttigieg by a little under 2 percentage points with 99% of the precincts reporting. Now, the media has been quick to point out that, oh my God, Bernie Sanders won this state with 60% of the vote in 2016, and now he barely wins with less than 2%. Oh man, he is finished. Somehow Bernie Sanders winning in New Hampshire, the corporate media, which is MSNBC and CNN and New York Times, have all tried to spin this as, wow, he won? Pfft, what a loser. Look at how little he won by. Can you imagine that? Oh my God, this guy's career is finished, isn't it? I mean, he won the most votes in Iowa. He won the most votes in New Hampshire. Wow, what an asshole, right? No, Bernie Sanders won. And the reason the percentages are a little bit different than they were in 2016 is because there's more than 2 people running right now. You know, it's like if you have a pie and you're going to split that between 2 people, you would each get more pie. If you have to split that pie with 10 people, everybody's going to get a little bit less, aren't they? And that's what happened in New Hampshire. Simple fractions, folks. We learned all this in elementary and middle school, right? We should know what happened and why the vote was not as big, but you have your corporate media twisting itself to the point they're going to strain a muscle trying to convince us that Bernie Sanders' victory was actually a loss for him. The 2 runners-up, Pete Buttigieg, again, little under 2 percentage points below Bernie Sanders, which was a good showing for Mayor Pete. And Amy Klobuchar came in 3rd. You know, that's a bit of a shocker. The media is trying to spin that as she actually won it because she came in 3rd. She outperformed the polls, as did Buttigieg. But again, first place is the winner, and Klobuchar is doing better than expected. But part of the reason Klobuchar is doing a little bit better is because you have 2 candidates who have absolutely fallen off the map. Elizabeth Warren and Joe Biden. What happened to these campaigns? Joe Biden, obviously, the man has never pulled more than 4th place in any primary that he has run in 32 years. That's how long this guy's been running for president, folks. And he's never finished better than 4th place. And in New Hampshire yesterday, he got 5th place. 5th. Elizabeth Warren took 4th place. Now, Elizabeth Warren gave a speech after she was declared the 4th place winner, I guess. It was a fiery speech. It was an angry speech, and she appeared to call out Bernie Sanders, just kind of burning everything to the ground and really destroying any chance she may have had of becoming a presidential candidate on a Bernie Sanders ticket. She is going scorched earth right now, and I don't know that that's going to help her campaign. She was doing fine. She was doing great in the polls. She was doing fine getting along with Bernie Sanders, and there was hope of a unity ticket between the 2. And then she hired a bunch of people from Kamala's staff, a bunch of people from the Clinton campaign, and suddenly she hates Bernie Sanders. And at the same time, her poll numbers absolutely tank, and she underperforms in the first primary and the first caucus. Joe Biden, people understand the guy's a little bit nuts. I think that's the biggest contributor there. There have been some people saying, no, it's Bloomberg taking the votes away from him. I think Joe Biden's done a good job of pushing people away. It's not that Bloomberg is stealing them. It's that they're abandoning Biden because they see that he can't win and he's, not quite all there. And so they're like, Bloomberg, not too bad. If it wasn't Bloomberg, it'd be somebody else. So stop with the, no, Bloomberg's stealing votes from Biden, he should stay in there. No, that's a stupid argument. Don't make that argument. It's not smart. Here's the interesting thing. Things are going to change. Things are going to change very quickly now, because we just got done with 2 very, very white states voting. Next 2 states, we have Nevada and South Carolina. Demographics are a little bit different, a little better representative of what the rest of the country looks like. So, are Buttigieg and Klobuchar, who are polling the worst among minority candidates, still going to be able to pull out second and third place? Is Joe Biden going to be back in fourth place with these states among groups that he typically does well with, or at least polls well with now? And if Bernie Sanders can run away with both Nevada and South Carolina, is that it? One of the biggest criticisms the Bernie Sanders campaign has faced, most of it based on fantasy, because polls show he has the most support, but either way, people have said he can't win over minority voters. So if he goes to Nevada and he goes to South Carolina and he pulls out first place, I think that kind of seals the deal. I know that's only 4 states out of 55 total contests, but I think it's going to shut up a lot of the hate. No, I take that back. It's not going to shut up the haters. They're never going to shut up. Their financial interest rests on Bernie Sanders not winning. So, of course, no, they're not going to shut up. But it's going to convince more people in this country that, you know what? Bernie can win among all demographics. Bernie is the front runner. And Bernie beats Trump. 2 contests to go before we get a very real, clear picture as to what's going to happen with the rest of the race. Iowa and New Hampshire, the first 2 contests are big, obviously. There has not been a single person that won both of those states that did not go on to become the Democratic nominee in modern history. So if past is prologue, Bernie already has this thing in the bag. Of course, you never know what's going to happen. Things are a little crazy. We have a lot of candidates still in the race. Time will tell, but that time is coming up pretty darn quick. Hey everyone, you know what this is. It's the end screen, where I'm supposed to beg you to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content from Ring of Fire. But what I really want to do is ask you to consider becoming a member for more exclusive content and perks, including early access videos and exclusive videos. Check out the link in the description or go to youtube.com/theringoffire/membership.